What if you knew that there was a treasure buried in your front yard? And what if you knew exactly what was in it? You knew that the value of the treasure inside the chest would change your life forever. So you start digging, and as you're getting closer to the point that you can almost see the chest, you decide to quit and walk away from it. Most people die at 25 and aren't buried until they're 75. Benjamin Franklin. If you're struggling in your life, what I am learning is that you really only have two choices. You can either stay where you are and make the most of it, or try to do something about it and make the most of that. In 2023, I was sitting in my truck on a work break, and I started to think about my future. With my sticky notes scattered around, I wrote down what the next few years of my life could look like. I stopped and thought, where am I right now? Is this where I want to be 10 years from now? 20 years from now? I wrote down two possibilities on two sticky notes because I had a light bulb moment that went off. And once I realized it, I couldn't unsee it or unthink it, which is why later in the video, I want to share with you a new tool that I've created for you to use. So the first sticky note had a vision of my life of where I could be if I stayed in the same spot, with a few positive adjustments, hopefully after 10 years. And the second sticky note was, okay, 10 years from now, what if I went after the thing that I really want to do? What would my life look like if I did that? What if it worked? Only you know what that idea is for you. And that is the light bulb moment. And for this particular thought, I'm basing it around the skills that I have and I'm trying to get better at. And this is what I realized. I will either make videos for someone else, aka a corporate job, or with everything that I'm trying to learn and soak in as much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of my skills in today's world, I could build something that I continue to see works for myself. I will either work for someone else, a 9-to-5, for the rest of my life. And that'd be completely cool because I'm grateful for where I'm at, but also realizing that you have one life. That's it. What if you try to do the thing that you love to do? This idea that I'm talking about is really about me taking a bigger picture of my life to look at where I've been, where I'm at currently, and where I could go if God allows this to happen. So that realization led me down a path to what I believe could be a successful one if it's done wisely. When I open up the book of wisdom that has all of life's answers in it for you and me, I continuously read that if a person works hard, builds a diligent plan, seeks wisdom, prepares and counts the cost of that decision, and most importantly, if a person commits and trusts their plans to the Lord, that person's plans will be established and their steps will be directed. Before shooting this video, I had to go outside to our outside fridge because I was trying to look for some milk. And even then, these doubts are coming into my head. What if this doesn't work? I've been making videos since I was a kid. And in today's world, you can grow it into something really, really successful if done right. And I wonder, okay, Lord, like all I can do is trust you. And your word says that if you do these things, if I trust you, then you got me. And yet my mind wants to call me out. You're a procrastinator. You have ADHD. You do good if you could even get through one day. Why would this good happen to you, Tucker? That promise couldn't really be for you. Don't you know all of your mistakes? All these people that you see online, that's not going to be one of you. But then I remember that the scriptures tell that the Lord doesn't show partiality. It doesn't show favoritism. It is one of the biggest light bulb moments I've had in my life because his scriptures are reassuring me and you. If I work hard, if I choose to get good rest, if I choose to take care of myself, my health, mentally, physically, spiritually, if I choose to seek wisdom, let go of any ego, pride, be humble, if I choose to use the two most powerful tools, which are knowledge and understanding, and if I give my plans to him and build them with him in mind, the plan will work. However it lays out, whatever that outcome may be, the plan will work. But there are still days where my emotions are a waterfall. My brain feels like it wants to explode because I struggle. But all I know to do is to do what it says and trust. One day at a time, one step at a time, one thought at a time. So I want to share with you 3 things that have helped me, and I hope it can help you. Number 1, wherever you are in your life, because we each have our own story, give it your best. Work hard as if you're working for the creator of the universe. Think about this. If the creator of the universe, the one who made an Alaskan bird called the ptarmigan, which in winter, this bird can turn its feathers white, grow more feathers around its feet. It's almost like a snow boot. And in summer, its feathers grow brown, all because it's trying to camouflage itself to hide itself from its predators. That's just one example of a million. If God can do that, how much more can he do for us? That's a pretty cool bird. And here's something I have held near to my heart for over 8 years when I first read it. Now to him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that works in us, to him be the glory in the church by Christ Jesus to all generations forever and ever. Amen. Number 2, you need to think like an ant. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no captain, overseer, or ruler, provides her supplies in the summer and gathers her food in the harvest. How long will you slumber, O sluggard? When will you rise from your sleep? A little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall your poverty come on you like a prowler, and your need like an armed man. An ant is overlooked because of its size, but regardless of its size, the amount of work that it is doing when no one else is watching is incredible. I don't need to wait for someone to tell me what to do, because if I do, the world is going to tell me what it wants. Stop and think about your life, what you want out of it, and then make a plan and get as much wisdom as you possibly can on that plan and keep going. Don't waste your life being lazy. Go and get rest, but then get up and start building your life. But also don't forget to sleep, or you'll be worse off because your body won't be ready when that opportunity comes. Number 3, this is something that I'm learning. The more that I fail, the closer I am to success, but there's a catch. It's not that the more I fail, then I'm going to achieve success. Because if I fail, but I don't learn from it, then I just failed. But if I tried to do something and then I failed, if I stop and ask myself, okay, what happened and what can I learn to do better from that situation? When you stop to consider why you failed and choose to learn from it, you will be 2 steps closer to success. The first step is acknowledging that you made a mistake. And from there, you could go on and forget about all of it. But the second step, which is the most important one, is that when you make the mistake, you choose to learn from it so that you can avoid it and make a better decision the next time. Number 4, remember what old Ben said in the beginning of the video. Most people die at 25 and aren't buried until they're 75. When I was 17 years old, I was fully aware of where I was presently in my life, because I began to realize that you really do have one shot at this amazing adventure called life. And that means the decisions you make do matter. Let me give you 2 different scenarios. Option number 1, you could live a life like this. You live in the motions. You go with the status quo. You never question anything. You just go along with the flow, living how everyone else lives. You do what anyone tells you to do without question. You never try to reach for the stars because you believe that nothing good can happen for you. Or option 2, you could live a life like this. You realize that any day could be your last. And so that means what you say matters, what you do matters, how you live matters. You choose to make the best of whatever situation you're in. You learn the skills you need to grow. You understand that failure is truly a part of becoming better because you can learn from your mistakes. You prepare the blueprints of your life. You ask questions to learn knowledge and understanding. You understand your purpose in life is realizing who created you. This all leads to number 5. I point all the fingers back to myself. This could be the biggest regret of my life. But first I need to read you this. My son, if you receive my words and treasure my commands within you, so that you incline your ear to wisdom and apply your heart to understanding. Yes, if you cry out for discernment and lift up your voice for understanding, if you seek her, which is wisdom, as silver, and search for her as for hidden treasures, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom from his mouth. From his mouth comes knowledge. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk uprightly. When I was sitting in my truck and I had mapped out 2 different options I could take, 2 different paths of life, I do need to make a note that each path is good, because whichever one I wanted to do, as long as I am living for the Lord and giving my best and making the most out of whatever option I chose, each of them could be a great path. Why I lean more to option 2 is because the second option was the one I've spent too many hours studying, researching, planning, preparing, praying, and seeking wisdom for. That one would be the one to be my biggest regret if I never gave it a shot. If I died today, or 51 years from now, which would make me 80, you can do the math and see how old I am. If I don't try and give my best to something that I know could work, that could not just benefit me, but my wife and kids, but I chose not to do it, that would be the biggest regret of my life. So that leaves you and me with one question. Are we going to take the shovel and dig up the treasure chest? The treasure chest for me is the knowledge and understanding and wisdom that I've learned about the second option. That treasure chest for you could be something different. So the treasure chest is knowing a decision that is really good for you, or could be, but you choose not to do it out of fear that it might not work. It couldn't happen to me, but it leads me back to trust. And so once you start digging and you commit to it, it's pretty incredible that not only the treasure that you are trying to dig up to go after, you will receive. The treasure that you find in what you are learning about yourself is pretty priceless. Okay, so I've created a new tool for you called Pocket Wisdom. I've designed this new tool so that you can carry the wisdom that you're learning in your pocket. So for example, today's video, I took the overall message, are you going to take the shovel and dig up the treasure chest that's in your front yard? And illustrated a graphic that you can download and use as your phone's wallpaper, or create a folder within your photos on your phone. And that way, wherever you are, if you're needing a little bit of encouragement, you can pull out your phone, either look at the wallpaper or go to that folder, and it'll be right there to remind you to keep going. Now that we're officially at the end of the video, I guess it's time for me to drop the mic and go pick up my shovel. So